developer or subdivider. If they are a government body, they may choose to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the village in place of providing a letter of credit that must be approved by the village board. Staff is recommending approval of the attached ordinance.
Is there any discussion?
I do believe that we do need to come up with an arbitration committee for this. Just read the paper, like College Page and Winfield or Warrenville, they were at odds for years and could not get things resolved. I don't want to hold up this project at all, so I'm fine with approving it now, but I'd really like to choose maybe 3 to 5 members. It shouldn't be too big. Arbitration committee.
I have a legal question for our council. Do we need to change any of the language that we're proposing tonight in order to do that in the future?
I think what we could do with the actual agreement itself is put that in if we want to do it.
Okay.
Just basically the implementation of the ordinance would require that.
Okay.
But yeah, we're fortunate we get along with the tax bodies today, but there are times. So, but as is, I think it's the right thing to do. Helps out our residents and all the taxpayers, and like having an arbitration committee, it should be able to resolve anything.
Is there any benefit to adding Sugar Grove government body to specify? There's probably an extremely slim chance it was another government body, but if there was ever like a federal facility or something like that, we'd probably want the letter of credit.
Potentially, one case I can think of is with the airport. There are a few parcels that we do require permits for. Most of it is not permitted through the village, but there's a couple of things that we do.
Would that work to add Sugar Grove government body?
Yeah, you can amend it now if you want to do that. I mean, I think you still have the option if the board, let's say the airport, for example, you have the option just to deny the board level, but you can amend it now if you want.
Yeah, they would have to request it, and it would have to come to the board for approval before even.
So if I understand, every time somebody would want this, another governing body, it's not they get it. It's they request it, the board hears and makes that decision. So that might cover some of the concern if it's a federal government.
Although I can't think of a situation outside of Sugar Grove that we would want an outside government body not to provide that letter of credit. That's why I think.
Be willing to, or I'd go with your recommendation that we put Sugar Grove, and if another tax body wants to approach us about waiving it, we can do it at that time on a case-by-case basis. But
Yeah.
I would say let's show some favoritism to the Sugar Grove boards.
Is there any other discussion?
So are you suggesting amended, basically?
Yeah.
To include,
Yeah, sure. Just to add Sugar Grove and, yeah, just add Sugar.
Maybe Mike could amend his first to include that. Tony could amend his second.
I'll amend mine first.
So we have a first from trustee Michaels and a second from trustee.
No, it was
Ross.
Sorry, first from trustee Roscoe, second from trustee Michaels.
no trustee special.
Mike and Tony.
Mike and Tony.
So Mike has to amend his first.
I'll amend the first to change it to Sugar Grove tax advisors only.
And now we need a.
And then I'll second that. I'll amend my second to include that
Sugar.
Sugar Grove.
Okay. Is there a roll call to, on the amended motion?
Trustee Roscoe,
Aye.
Trustee Special,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee London,
Aye.
Trustee Michaels,
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the ordinance approving text amendments to zoning code intergovernmental agreement in lieu of letter of credit for local governments is approved. The next item of general business is a resolution, the intergovernmental agreement with Sugar Grove Fire District in place of letter of credit. Is there a motion and a second to discuss and vote on item 11P?
I'll make a motion to discuss and approve. Are we doing both?
Yeah.
Okay.
To discuss. We have a motion from trustee Special. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second from trustee London. Danielle Marion will be presenting this item as well.
So now that you guys know there's the tax amendment, the fire department is requesting an IGA in place of their letter of credit for their training facility on Tiny Road. This is kind of the project that triggered this whole discussion. So you have before you a resolution that would approve an IGA with the fire department in place of providing us a letter of credit for the public improvement guarantee. This does not alleviate them from the stormwater letter of credit they're still required to put out.
Is there any discussion? Can we have a roll call, please, Megan?
Trustee Special.
Aye.
Trustee London.
Aye.
Trustee Lundy.
Aye.
Trustee Michaels.
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff.
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie.
Aye.
The ayes have it in the resolution approving intergovernmental agreement with Sugar Grove Fire District in place of letter of credit is approved. Would anyone like to make a public comment? It looks like we have Brian Kish signed up. If you can step up to that podium. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Brian Fish. I live in Settlers Ridge, 247 Gillett Street, and I'd like to speak in favor of the 4-foot fence resolution. I actually have a 4-foot fence and I'm on a corner lot, so I got one of the variances and, took the sight lines into, I didn't know the actual ones at that point, but I took those into account that to be far enough back, I'm actually like way far back. But I'm also on the board now, the ARC committee, so reviewing the applications, and I've seen many come through. For me, it was more of a safety issue for the number of coyotes that come through the neighborhood, and we consistently see the 3-foot fence is decorative, and it's kind of a low hurdle for a coyote. So 4 foot, they can still get over, but it's a challenge. A lot of the fences in the neighborhood are either 4-foot or privacy, and I think it fits in a lot better. The 3-foot fences don't seem to fit in as well these days.
And you're okay with the picket fence?
The picket fence, yes. And we limit where the privacy fences can be still, and what I guess he sent over Dave sent over the amended fencing guidelines that we had from 2023, because you guys didn't have those. But we're in the process of probably amending ours slightly just to get the language correct with the new building that's going on and the lots that are going to be the front-loaded and the rear-loaded ones now. There's a combination of how that's all going to work and how it's going to look. So we already encountered that with the model home with Brian.
Oh.
They put in a little fence and didn't meet any standards. So it was either do this or, take it out. They took it out. So,
Thank you.
Thanks. My 3 minutes is up, right?
Close.
You did 30 seconds. Is anyone else interested in speaking? Yep.
Good evening. Some of you may recognize me. If not, my name is David Sexauer. I am the president of the HOA for Settlers Ridge, also a resident. I live on 1349 Cornell Circle. And I just wanted to speak today a little more of a formality and provide a little more back history for the Settlers Ridge perspective on the 4-foot fence. As Brian alluded to, in 2023, I was on the board to help vote our internal architectural standards to allow 4-foot fences. I would at least start off by apologizing for some of my experience as a board member at the time, not recognizing that that was a conflicting issue with the PDD that the village has. Nor do I believe that the president at the time was aware of that. But if it helps your decision, internally the board had made a favorable decision to allow 4-foot fences, which is why you have seen some of those fences in our neighborhood today. And that was a standard that we had upheld. So it was not an intentional overlooking of a standard, but as we're aware of it today, we want to help clear that up and help resolve that. As that may or may not affect the rest of the village, that is obviously for you to determine. But I just wanted to provide a little bit of that back history and say that formally the HOA did make that decision and we've upheld it. So we did provide those standards to Danny as well. But again, we will work as much as we can with the village to help make sure that our standards are in alignment with the village's, to help avoid issues like this in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Hearing none, we'll close public comments at this time. Our next discussion item is the 4-foot fence in Settlers Ridge, and Danny Marion will present this item.
So as you guys have gotten a little bit of background from the HOA, we have come into an issue where there has been 4-foot fences approved and installed within Settlers Ridge in a corner side yard. Per the PDD guidelines, they're very specific to fencing. They do not allow 4-foot fences in corner side yard at Ridge Ridge. There was some confusion with the HOA, so they approved a new document, not realizing that the village still has to enforce what is in the PDD, even though they have their new standards. So we recently came across a resident who wanted to put a 4-foot fence in their corner side yard. We denied it because it did not meet the PDD requirements. We've gotten pushback because other neighbors around them do have a 4-foot fence in the corner side yard. We are not exactly sure how these fences were approved. We can't find any legal basis behind it. So we did research. There's 9 4-foot fences in a corner side yard within Settlers Ridge. So we discussed with the village attorneys, and rather than amending the entire Settlers Ridge PDD, they suggested that we could allow 4-foot fences in a corner side yard by approving a resolution that basically says that the village board is okay with 4-foot fences in a corner side yard in Settlers Ridge. So that's where we are at today. And we have before you a resolution. Sorry, you don't have the resolution before you yet. We're discussing the resolution about allowing the 4-foot fences in side yards. The Plan Commission did discuss this at their previous meeting. They were kind of split on whether or not to allow it. A couple of the planning commissioners felt very strongly that no, this is the PDD requirements, this is what we should enforce. But overall, they took a vote, and it was 4-2 to make a recommendation to, 4-2 to make a recommendation that the village board approve an ordinance or approve a resolution to allow 4-foot fences. So I can answer any questions that you guys have.
Is there any discussion?
So, the PDD for Settlers Ridge is kind of old. They've had many developers come in with different things, so it's a little bit, it's not how it was supposed to be developed originally. Things have changed over time. Can I ask the HOA president something? Is that, so the HOA has no problem with this at all, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
As long as it meets the sightlines and some of the other requirements that were brought up.
right.
The Plan Commission did make a recommendation that it would be strictly limited to picket style fences and may not obstruct the site triangle in any way.
And
I
that's,
will note that the village code also does not allow anything higher than a 3-foot fence in a corner side yard throughout the village. So
throughout the village.
wanted to note that.
Ah,
Yeah, there were 2 different specifications.
There's already 9 existing then.
I'm sorry, was
There's
that-
already 9 of them,
There's 9 of them.
and no issues with those.
No.
Do you know the rationale for the 3-foot fence throughout the rest of the village?
I think because of the site triangle issues, because we don't want a 4-foot fence in somebody's front yard, so it's kind of allowing a more decorative fence to be in the front yard, because the front and corner side yards have the same regulations. That's my take on it. I could be mistaken, but that's how I interpret
It does,
the reasoning behind it.
yeah. And does the village, throughout the village, does it specify that it has to be a picket fence or something that would not obscure
No,
the view?
it just limits it, does not allow anything higher than 3 feet in a corner side yard or front yard. So if you're at 3 feet, you're not in that site triangle.
Is that right?
Yeah, the site triangle goes from 3 to 8 feet.
Oh.
I'd be in support of it since the HOA seems fine with it. There's 9 of them already existing. And it'll be a restriction to address that site triangle issue, so I don't see any reason not to.
So with the 3-foot fence could be in this line of sight triangle?
No, the 3-foot fence would not be in the line of the site triangle.
Oh,
So the line of
okay.
site triangle is measured starting at 3 feet high up to 8 feet high.
Okay.
So if it's 3 feet or below, you're technically out of the site triangle per our village code.
I do like the planning commission suggestion.
Yeah, I'm good with 4 foot as long as we take into consideration the sight line. I think that's the big thing. And the picket fence, I think that
Yeah.
helps. Give some
I'm fine with it
visibility.
too.
Is there anyone opposed?
And picket fence is still gonna be the requirement in Settlers Ridge, right? No matter what?
That's correct.
It's what is still here?
Similar to that, yeah. So not a privacy fence.
Yeah, so this wouldn't change any of those regulations other than allowing it in the 4 foot in the corner side yard.
You know, that was all education when Kimball Hill came in and presented this, Tony, you probably remember. It was something that I think they brought to us. We didn't really have much input on it. But that's when it was a master plan community, and there's some rationale behind it, but I think it's changed.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, the next item for discussion
Did I
is,
bring this back for consent or?
I think so. Nobody said they were opposed.
Right, as long as it had exactly what John said, those sightline conditions.
Appreciate the input of the HOA.
Yes.
Next item for discussion is the solar field special use petitions in King County. Danny will present this one as well.
Okay, so as some of you may be aware, when the county gets petitions for special use permits that fall within 1.5 miles of village limits, they send them to the village to review and provide any comments or objections. Ultimately, it is the King County's decision on whether or not to approve these special use permits. But we did receive 2 special use petitions for solar farms that are falling within 1.5 miles of the village limits. The first one is in the southeast of Settlers Ridge off of Prairie. And then the second one is way south, and the entrance will be off of Jericho Road. So.
Is there
I-
an
Do a map.
opportunity to bring it up on the map?
Yeah, there's a little exhibit here.
Yeah, that one doesn't really do it justice. Is that double black line, is that the high-powered lines? So,
Yeah, the double, or?
Yes.
Let me see what you're
is it?
I mean, you can see the north-south one, John.
Yeah.
That was that show
sure.
and
So if
go.
you scroll down too, or scroll, yeah. This
That was
kind
that
of-
show and go property, Sean.
Oh, okay, yep. Oh, okay.
This gives you a little bit better idea, because
Okay.
here's the village limits. One will be here, this is Prairie.
Okay.
Gordon, then Prairie. And this is Jericho down here.
Okay.
On the comprehensive plan, this land is designated as farmland/undeveloped. The reason that it was designated this during the comprehensive plan update was because the village felt that getting utilities to this area was going to be very hard. Since then, there's been more development south in Northville that has opened up opportunities. There may be development down there eventually, because it's not going to be as difficult as we thought it would. So that is something to consider, that there may eventually be development down there. So you guys have before you, I attached the link to the petitions. You have the project narratives for each one and a site plan for each one. They are showing landscaping and fencing around both sites. The fence would probably not be up to village standards. The landscaping, if landscaped, we might require more if it were within village limits. That you have before you to add comments that you may want to send to the county. We do have to give them a response by, I think, the 7th.
Could we discuss the Blue Star first, the one closest to Prairie? After seeing the site plan, I would really want to push to make sure they preserve a right-of-way going south for Gordon Road, because just seeing the traffic that's building up on Orchard, at some point in time, I think the county's going to have to find a reliever, and Gordon would be a good one if they extend that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
So-
that is in our transportation plan to extend Gordon Road, basically down the blue line of that.
Yeah, down to 30 at least, and
Yeah.
I think then it lines up with Gordon and Montgomery. But I would highly stress that. And, I think that property is going to be highly developable in the future. Has Aurora issued a?
I have not heard anything from her. We got this last Wednesday or Thursday. This was a very last minute ad. I haven't had a whole lot of time to dig into.
Based on the location, proximity to Settlers Ridge and potential development potential, at first I was in favor of it, but now I'd be opposed to it.
Yeah. I think it would be developed in the near term. I think it's good land.
Yeah. Whether it's in our boundary agreement, I believe with Aurora, does it go to the power lines there? It goes Prairie Street to the power lines and then south, I think.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I think so.
And that somewhat followed the school district lines. So.
As we're considering these, they had sent them over and I asked for it to be added so we could get everybody's input. Do we want to consider any sort of, right now, anything that is agricultural could get an offer for solar? And I know for some farmers, it could be beneficial to continue farming and then maybe have solar on a part of their land and then it, helps to keep some more agricultural. Do we want to consider any sort of like percentage of agricultural in the comprehensive plan that can be converted to solar, or like a percentage of each lot or anything like that? Or just continue on a case by case basis?
I would prefer case by case at this point.
Okay.
'Cause my view is that eastern part of the village would probably develop better, more than the western part, because it's more rural.
Yeah.
And the water and sewer's
Yeah,
close.
yeah, exactly. So
Can you add any for Kane County, your comments on, we would probably as a village require more of the natural screening and then, the right of way for the road that Sean suggested.
And then the blue, or the red star, is that Bertram, that's almost dead ends to it? Is Bertram the road to the south of
I believe it is. It's the one. I believe it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Geographically, I think it's probably harder, isn't, I think there's a ridge line that runs through there, and it would be harder to develop, but it's a pretty piece of property. I don't know if I'd like to see solar panels there, but I don't know that area real well. I have a reservation about it, but and there, Montgomery would probably get to provide some input as well. It's within a mile and a half.
Yeah, but it's not on there.
Do you happen to know offhand, is there a King County hearing for residents on either of these?
Yeah, they have to do a public hearing for both of these for
Okay.
King County. I don't know off the top of my head what the date of that was.
Do you think it's passed already? Or
Yeah.
it's upcoming?
No, they send us these before they do the public hearings for them so that we can give them any comments or objections before their public hearing. I will figure out what that date is exactly and get it to you.
Could I ask that we?
One is October 28th.
Thank you.
October
Yeah,
20th?
yeah, one's October 28th, the other one's November 4th.
November 20th, did you say?
October 28th and November 4th.
So the red star would probably be the October 20th because that's the first petition, and the second one is November 4th. The blue star.
And the red star, that one's visible from Route 30 then?
The red one was further south.
Yeah, you might be able to see it from Route 30. It's fatal quite a ways off. So.
I'm sorry, okay, that was,
It's just on the north side of Jericho.
yeah.
If we could we get opinions or see what Montgomery and Aurora are thinking on each of these? So what Mike brought up earlier, it would seem like this property could be
Well,
developed.
especially the blue one, because I mean, there's subdivision, the red one is more developed, the blue one, there's subdivision close by in the map.
Yeah, and the boundary agreement with Montgomery and Sugar Grove is Sugar Grove gets north of Jericho and Montgomery gets south of Jericho. So this would be the future village
Okay.
of Sugar Grove.
Would it, okay.
So the blue one, if I'm looking at the zoning map, that's right up against our, what's currently zoned low-density residential, is that correct?
I believe it's right next the
Blue one, yeah,
I think it's right next to the Settlers Ridge PDD.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's right there. Okay, so it's gonna be right up against our residential PDD, so.
Does the Settlers Ridge HOA have any input on that?
Possibly. This
It's
is
on
also
the
new.
southern portion of Settlers Ridge,
Right.
but doesn't even have any approved
Yeah.
land yet.
Correct.
Right.
So
We would reserve comment.
Okay. Any other comments for King County?
Can we bring this back to the next meeting?
So King County is asking for comments, and our deadline to submit them is, I think, the 16th, I
I
think.
think it's the 16th.
So the comment period would be
Oh,
closed,
okay.
but, I mean, if it moves forward, we would be revisiting it again.
I can send emails to the board with what I find out from Aurora and Montgomery.
That'd be great.
Can the board members provide comments to me via email?
Yeah.
Is that
Just general thoughts.
legal?
Sure. I mean, it's their opinion, it's not an official binding.
Okay.
You said that their fencing does not meet what would be village standards?
No, so the fencing they're proposing is, I can't remember what it's called, basically farm fencing.
8 foot high woven
wire
fabric.
fabric, livestock.
Property owners.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'd be a little bit hesitant because if our plan is, and it's zoned for residential there, I wouldn't want the border to be that kind of fencing. That would-
Trustee Lindy, you mind speaking up a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would be a little hesitant to allow that kind of fencing, to want that, especially on the area that's right up against where we have zoned residential.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned with that. I'm not necessarily,
Is there a fencing that you would like to suggest?
what would be our standard fencing in something like that?
We would say, I think we have it stated as a privacy fence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not super clear on what that would look like. I know there's been instances where we have approved chain link with screening. So I don't know if you guys want to allow them to do chain link or do some kind of more of like a metal decorative.
I'd say more
It's a-
privacy.
More
and-
privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy.
It's a big area for
Yeah.
chain link. I don't think certain people on the planning commission are gonna go for a chain link.
And it's very visible too, in both locations.
The hundreds of feet of chain link fence at a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah, and just seeing those panels,
Since-
it's not
I mean,
appealing.
it is right up against the property line, of settlers, which there's nothing there now, but it is zoned already there. That's we anticipate residential there, so we gotta look out for that. That's my main concern. I'm not as concerned about the one further south. But yeah.
Trustee Lindy, if it's the property I'm thinking it is, it would be pretty visible. So I think your point of having privacy there is valid
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, 'cause I looked at the old zoning,
Mhm.
found the spots right there, so yeah.
There's a lot of parents that use that road to go to school, take the kids to school and that, so it gets a lot of traffic and they have a lot of visibility.
Is there any other comments? Oh, yes.
Sorry, just for clarification purposes, in the past, this has come before the board on extraterritorial. We usually be given staff direction, what you would like us to do, but it's a timeline now between the time now and October 16th. The board's decision could trigger a letter that could come forth from community development or from the village to the Kent County Board, and if it does, it may trigger a higher majority in the vote of how it works. So, but you'll have to provide direction, I believe.
And to add to that, last time that we tried to just send a letter, the county told us you guys need to pass a resolution.
So we need to.
So
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, in this case, they asked for our comments, so could we just put it in letter format with all of we have issues with the fence and we have issues with the.
I think we should put a resolution to be
Yeah.
clear.
yeah, we can do the comments, the resolution, as Chief stated, if we file a formal objection to the whole thing, that triggers supermajority vote with the board to approve it.
And is this the only juncture that we could file the objection? It has to be before the 16th? I misunderstood and thought it was the only comment they were looking for.
I will have to confirm when they need the objection by, but if we send them a letter saying that we're formally objecting, would that give us time then to do a resolution?
Yeah, my thought is, so they're gonna go to the zoning board, it looks like the 28th, right? And then they'll have to go to the full board too. So I think we have time in between. Yeah.
So do we have time then to do a full resolution, or do we need to do a resolution now?
No, I think you have time to do a resolution. If you want to do it at the next board meeting, approve it at that meeting, and then we can submit it to the county also.
Okay.
By the way, too, does it say, I don't know, I haven't seen, I'm seeing online the 28th is the zoning meeting. It might not even be on that meeting either.
Yeah, a lot of times they give us dates when they end up pushing up.
Yeah.
But if we need a special meeting, I think it's important enough that we call a
Right.
special meeting.
Yeah, if needed, I would agree.
And if this is the only item on.
So to clarify, like a resolution with a formal objection for just the blue one by settlers,
I
right?
would say for both.
Or both, okay.
And the one to the south, and this is just my interpretation of our discussion. One to the south, more fencing, higher requirements on fencing. The one to the north, I'm not really in favor of it at all, and I don't know if that's consensus of the board.
Yeah, I can't see anyone in Settlers Ridge doing and I don't think
Do we just want to poll, just have an idea what people within the board think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a vote, but just have an idea?
Quick question, Danny. I think both landowners, neither one of them is like a farmer that's using the solar to like continue farming part of their land, right? It's their entire lots.
One of
are
the
using
owners,
solar.
I don't know that for sure. I know one of the owners is out of Tennessee, and one of the owners, I believe, is local to Sugar Grove.
Yes, do we want to go?
I have a comment.
Okay.
In general, I am not a fan of these things at all. They're taking up so much landscape, and from some of the people that I've spoken to who are in that field, they don't generate as much electricity as they keep telling us they're going to be. But I kind of like croplands as opposed to big things of mirrors all over our landscape. However, I understand that some of this may just be inevitable and we're not going to be able to get away from it. One of the things that they noted in there is they're going to plant turf grass along with pollinators, and I think that they should be focused on, if they're going to take up this space with these things, that we should be looking at heavily using pollinators and not doing non-native turfs in those areas.
That's a good, yeah.
Very good point, Trustee London.
Is there any?
Chief.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
the fire department really prefer no vegetation inside of these?
Yeah.
Because they
Okay.
I
What about like a natural border outside? So?
Well, everything stone around it, no vegetation.
Okay.
And then if they have vegetation in them, then they're gonna spray them. And it's gonna
Ground.
Okay.
be dead grass, so that's gonna catch on fire around fast.
Yeah. Ground fires is concern for you then?
Yep.
That brings up another question. Do they have enough fire hydrants in there to support fire operations?
It's all county.
So you'd have to truck in water if you had
We've already
a,
talked to them about how much distance between each field. We have to have a 5-foot endpoint, 500 foot between the roadway and the end of the field so we can get our hose lines in there.
yeah. When we deal with properties that are like even asphalted over or putting them on roofs, the typical fire installation is to have at least hydrants placed per what the local fire department wants to see, so they have good fire response without having to haul hoses up on roofs or others. And in this case, if it's remote and fire response is having to haul in trucks of water, this is a big concern if they're not going to put hydrants around that area. There may not be water mains, I don't know.
There's all county, so we have to.
Yeah. So,
Is there any board member that does not want to file an objection through a resolution?
I'm no on blue and okay on red.
Why don't you just poll each person, just making sure.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I'm a no on blue, I'm a fine on red. Nope, yep, that's what I said, yeah. No on blue, fine on red.
I'm a no on both.
No on both.
I'm just Sam and also a no on both.
And then, yeah, no on blue, yes on red.
no, neither one, if we can get away with it not having them.
I'm a no on blue, and I generally don't see a problem with red, but
Okay.
it's not 100% on there, but yeah, I don't have a problem with that, so. But it sounds like we all are no on blue.
Yes. So if we could definitely work on a resolution then, objecting to the blue. We could probably file an objection on the red as well, unless everything that we asked for is included. I think we have a lot of requests.
See, that would,
Including, so that's a unincorporated area. Are there hydrants anywhere around that? There's no hydrants anywhere around that area, so that would have to, the fire risk would have to be addressed.
But what's typical for field? You see big solar fields out in the middle of nowhere. What's typically done in solar fields? Do they
Truck it
they
in.
truck it in?
Does that work for you?
We can vote on the resolution and, you know, see
Okay.
what the vote is. I think.
Alright, we'll now move on to staff reports. We have no, do we have any administration, reports from either, Brad or Chief, anyone that's cooperatively taking over for staff this week? No, okay. And no finance report this evening. Danny, did you have a community development report? Oh. Oh, I take that back, we do have a finance.
Well, obviously Matt's not here to add any comments.
It's in your
He turned
signature.
in his final report since he did work till Friday.
Okay. So there is a finance report, for the status of current projects, meetings, training. The 2024-2025 annual treasurer report has been published in the newspaper. Got a grantee upload, has been completed. The DECO grant quarterly reporting has been completed for the most current period. By the way, we love Matt for doing all of this, and continuing to help us. Exit interview items, he has left a list of items with, Scott, who is not here, but it is all taken care of or being taken care of. Meetings, the patrol union negotiations, Chief Rollins will probably have more of an update on that, I would imagine. Finance overview meeting, all of the different approvals have been ironed out. There was a treasurer luncheon and discussion, 12 other treasurers in attendance. Interviews ongoing for the finance director position, and final board meeting for the IMTA board. And that is it for the finance report. Danny, did you have a community development report?
I have one, and I have nothing to add to what was made in
Okay. And Chief Rollins, did you have a police report?
Part of the packet, do you have any questions about
Brad, did you have a public works report? We'll move on to trustee reports. Trustee Lundy.
Yes, I, would like to say that the Little Lending Library by the Bellevue Park is up, and I think it's full of books. Very nice. Everyone's still very much enjoying the pedestrian bridge. I attended the IML conference, and got a lot of good information, sat in on a lot of conferences. A lot of information on TIFs, a lot of information on legal concerns municipality might run into, and also on Illinois EPA updates, which I'd like to say we dodged a bullet there because of the lead pipes that a lot of municipalities are having issues with. According to Brad, we are pretty much lead pipe free, and a lot of municipalities are having a hard time meeting the requirements of getting rid of all the lead pipes, so we are lucky. And I don't know if that was just timing of when we put in our pipes, or the wonderful job Public Works.
100% timing in what materials they're using, when stuff was built within the village and not.
So, yeah, so I was just hearing all the municipalities having issues with coming up with money for that, and it's very expensive, so I was glad that we didn't have to worry about that. I attended the library board meeting. They sent out 200 welcome wagon bags. They have a new logo. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And one of the cool things is they have a 3D printer that you can use. And if it's above a certain size or something, then you get charged a small amount. If it's below a certain size, then you don't get charged. But I'm looking forward to potentially using that. Again, our library is a fabulous place. Go online and see all the cool things you can do. I'll report.
Trustee Special. Sorry.
I had nothing to report. That's okay.
Trustee Special. I
Uh,
don't know, she's not on the list for some reason.
I attended the lunch Friday for Matt, and John was there too, so on behalf of the village, we thanked him, and sad to see him go. I mean, you know, great employee, so that's all I have.
Trustee Michaels.
I was not at the Groovin' in the Grove meeting, but they had a meeting on September 29th and have set the dates for next year's concerts. It'll be Friday, June 12th with Voyage, which is a classic rock band. Friday, July 17th, Wild Daisy, which is country. And Friday, August 14th, Second Hand Soul, which is Motown. So committee's got some backup dates as well, but it was really a success last year, and hope we have good weather and good attendance at next year's functions. And that's it.
Trustee Roscoe.
No report.
And Trustee Bonnie.
None at this time.
President's report. I just went to the first meeting of the corn boil with Jaden. Starting to put together the corn boil for next year. We'd love to have as many volunteers as possible. And that'll be on the third Thursday of the month. And that is it. If there is nothing else, can we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion from
I'll
Trustee
second it.
Special and a second from Trustee Roscoff. Can we have roll call, please, Mandy?
Trustee Special.
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff.
Aye.
Trustee Lundy.
Aye.
Trustee London.
Aye.
Trustee Michaels.
Hi.
Trustee Bonnie.
Aye.